Yes.
Can you introduce Morgan?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do.
I know who she is.
Yeah, she's back there. Morgan's right back there behind
There
her.
she is.
Oh, okay.
She's hiding.
And when did she start?
Money,
This Monday? Okay, good.
right?
Morgan, do you mind standing up and introducing yourself to people?
I grew up in Canton and moved away and then came back to be married to somebody that lived there his whole life. So I just live across the street. So I can be here if it's raining, snowing, whatever. I don't need my garage door open to work. I don't have previous experience in a city position. I worked for the county treasurer's office, but once it's closed, that goes. So I'll probably be on the phone with that lady for a while.
She's good though. You'll like her.
What they did? My tabular assistant. There you go. So
And also you can ask about Roy questions too. He'd be offered to answer questions too. So, yeah.
Currently, I think, we've been talking with Carla.
Yeah.
Carla Shearer is actually going to be coming in and assisting Morgan to help get a lot of everything set up. That way she's not completely blindsided. I mean, that's where I want to thank Rhonda again. Rhonda, whether she says it or not, she has done a crap load of stuff. I mean, you can actually see the desk.
Has anybody thought about when she comes in on Monday to still keep the door shut for a while?
That's a good idea.
Yes.
I put a note on
Because
the
I
door.
can't imagine.
No,
I put a note on the door that the new clerk would be starting Monday, but it was gonna remain closed. So, got that covered.
the only thing I can do if you come in anyway is tell you to write your number down and I'll come in. So it'll be a little bit.
And it's not going to remain closed once she gets everything caught up and understanding everything, the function of everything that she's going to be doing. And we'll slowly start introducing the public to her, let them come in, but it won't be. I mean, that's something we're going to have to.
Only the nice people. I won't take them.
And I'll try to be there Monday morning to help show you what the files are. So I've tried to keep it organized, so we'll see what you think.
Thank you. Do it one motion for all the positions, or you want to do it for each one?
I think we have to do it for each one.
What about the city attorney? Are we going to talk about this?
Yeah, we'll do it for each one.
Okay, so
Make a motion for Morgan as the city clerk.
I said.
At the pay rate of
$20
$20 and plus benefits. Okay, effective,
May 9th.
I'll second that motion.
the motion's been made and seconded to nominate Morgan as the city clerk. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Treasurer is Mary Jane. And Mrs. Lauer.
I make a motion to appoint Mary Jane Lauer as the Canton treasurer.
Continuing on the same terms and conditions and pay scale for the next year.
Yep.
Yes.
Is she paid?
I believe it's $75 a month.
$75 a month. Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to appoint Mary Jane Lauer as the city treasurer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving down to maintenance supervisor, Mr. McMiller. Yeah,
Make a motion to reappoint Nick mailed for a period of 1 year, same terms and conditions and pay rate.
The motion has been made and seconded. McMiller as the maintenance supervisor under the existing conditions and pay rate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have chief of police.
Make a motion to approve Mark Barnett as chief of police with the same rates and existing conditions.
I'll second that motion.
The motion has been made to appoint Mark Barnett as chief of police based on the same rate, pay rate and conditions for 1 year. All those in favor?
Aye.
We, this next one, we're going to
We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
No, just,
I want, we have been looking for maybe a different lawyer. And the reason for that is we need somebody with a little more punch. And, so we have done a bit of a search and are going to recommend Reese D. Hebert out of Newton. And he works for a company that does a lot of this kind of work.
Yeah, the background, this gentleman's background, he's a young man, associate at Pancrantz and Hodge. He's got a really impressive background. The firm itself, our city attorneys for 4 other cities,
Plus the school district.
plus the school district. He also serves on city council in Walton, on the Workington House Museum Board, Newton Chamber of Commerce, Tabor Mennonite Church, Worship Planning Committee. I mean, he's young, impressive, and I think he's got what we're looking for. The rate that they will come on for, they've given us an offer of $2.25 an hour. They will not stack attorneys together and say, you owe us 3 attorneys. If they confab on something, it comes up as one rate, 1 hour's time. He is willing to be here at our meetings. He will be our attorney for court. And the experience and knowledge that firm has is 75 years, and it's broad. So this is who we, I'd like to make a motion to accept this offer and hire them as our appointed attorneys.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to hire Mr. Hebert as our city attorney and lawyer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Hey, while we're on the attorney, I want to make, how do we want to handle it? So I know there's been issues before, not just with this council, but prior councils. We have council members calling up the attorney for, I'm not going to point anything out, but for very stupid reasons. And there's a lot of that stuff that we get billed for. That's something, how do we want to handle that? I mean, let's say I'm pissed off with Rhonda, I want to figure out something we can do to try and get rid of her or anything like that. I mean, I know that we end up, right, is that something we need to go through Earl? We need to set some guidelines here, because it's been an issue before, not just with this council, prior councils where we had council members calling up the attorney without everybody's permission. I mean, have to go through on a continual, monthly basis, approving the financials. And generally, our attorney bills are not that high, but then you'll see if we have issues, because with the council, all of a sudden, our attorney fees are skyrocketing, and we have no reason why, because we have an individual council member or something that is calling up the attorney without everybody's consent.
I think we should probably at least talk, whoever, if they want to talk to the attorney, should probably.
It needs to go through the mayor.
And of course, if as a council, we put a committee together and give it to Wendy to do whatever.
Yeah.
She has the ability to make those calls and follow up on, so that we're all aware.
Is that something we want to make a motion on, or what do we want?
Yes.
I think we made it for
I think
something
we're-
we should
I think
just
we're-
do if we don't have anything.
I think we're there. We know where we're at. Okay.
I don't know who the judge is.
I do not
I
either.
can't remember.
Gary Price.
Gary Price.
Price. Thank you.
And how has he been previously, Mark?
He's been a great judge. So, and judges are kind of hard to find right now anyway, so I suggest we probably keep him.
Where's he out of? Mark, you know where he's out of?
He's out of the first.
Okay, as
Do we have code enforcement yet?
You what?
Do we have code enforcement yet?
No. So I'll make a motion to reappoint Gary Price for a period of 1 year as our judge on the same terms and conditions.
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded to appoint Gary Price as the judge under the same payment conditions as present for the next year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. All appointments have been passed.
Clerk position, everybody's kind of aware that we've been without a clerk, but I just wanted to take a little bit of time and say a big thank you to Rhonda. She is, Rhonda has really stepped up.
Doing it for you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I can't get your bills out.
Yeah,
You can send money.
You have gone above and beyond.
Yeah, she stepped up. Nobody asked her anything. She actually came up, asked Earl, what can I do? I mean, she walked in, you couldn't even see the desk in there. You can actually see the desk now. And it is very organized. And I know you don't like
No,
that.
I
but-
know. Let's move on.
Okay. Don't slap me. Okay.
The next item is the request by maintenance, I guess, to hire a couple of summer mowing help.
Had a total of 5 applications that were turned in. Interviewed with 3 of them. One that turned his app in, let me know he's taking another job going over the road trucking, so that takes him out of the picture. The one high school kid that applied, I could never get him to return a message to get with me to set up an interview or the time to talk. I know he was real busy with sports and school, but I let him know I'd be willing to meet him on the weekend or in the evening or something, and he just never got back with me, so it came down to, kind of what I was thinking of one more full-time help, kind of like we had, and then somebody to kind of replace Casey that just does a few hours here and there, looks like 15 hours a week or something like that, to kind of slide into the spot. Had Christopher Lemon that applied, that would be my choice for the full-time summer position. Not currently working anywhere, so he could be here all day for us. Has a little bit of equipment knowledge.
What was his last name?
Lemon?
Lemon.
L-E. And and he would be willing to start as soon as Monday if we so chose to go that route with him. We get him trained, get him going on the mowers and stuff, and he is of age to where if we need him to help with some equipment, go out and move our dump truck for us while we're doing a street project, he could do that for us. We don't have to worry about being underage with that.
What about your thoughts on him? I mean, as far as mechanical, I mean, as far as if they needed help up the pool or something, as far as starting pumps and that kind of stuff, what do you think about something like that?
I know his last job, he was doing some CNC work, so he's got a little bit of, and he went to vocational school for CNC. So he has some kind of mechanical knowledge there that I think would be useful as far as maybe the pool and stuff, helping with that once we get it figured out exactly what's going on there. And then the other app I had is Dustin Frank. His original was going to work out really well because he worked second shift when he applied, but he's taking a job here at the service center that he's supposed to start in roughly 3 weeks. So he would be an evening after work type guy. And kind of like I said, like Casey would work, depending on his rotation of shifts. Some days he was here in the day, some days he worked hours, went out and mowed stuff in the evening for a few hours. And like for him, I can make him strictly over like the ball fields for right now with everybody practicing practices out at the baseball fields and then the parks where he can really focus on that when he's here. And like I said, he starts his job in 3 weeks where we wanted him. We could bring him in up until then and get him trained and kind of go over the next couple weeks. So when he does go to his new job, then he has an idea of what we're expecting and what he needs to do.
So you'll just like leave him a list of things that you want him to do, and he'll just come in.
And that includes meetings, right?
Yes,
What was his first name?
Dustin.
That's right.
So how many hours do you think he would want him?
He has a full-time job, so he's I think he's maybe a 15-hour kind of guy. That tops 2 maybe 3 hours in the evening type thing, depending on what we have. If the Christopher's out there and he's knocking the grass down good, and he may not have anything to do that day, so he just gets to go home and rest that day. So
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, he'd be kind of a PRN, type guy, hey, need you to go hit this. We got something at the old park, need to make sure you go and get that cleaned up, spruced up, so it looks really nice for the weekend or whatever type.
How many hours do you think this is
I think he'll take as many hours as we can. I know our summer help the last 2 years, I know you keep talking about the 32, but with the seasonal, you don't have to follow the 32 necessarily. Because I know the last 2 summers, our seasonal guys, the high school guys, got close to 40. I mean, it's somewhere maybe right underneath that, but they would usually probably close to that 35, I guess, because we'll start coming in probably June-ish, start coming in at 6, and they would come in at 7. We'd get our day started, and then they'd get there, and we'd get them started on something, and then they leave the same time we do.
seasonal?
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought seasonal was exempt off of that, but I'm not gonna swear to that. I know that summer helps previously have kind of worked past that, but not by much. I said, I think last year Keegan got probably 35, maybe 36 hours a week on average, and there's some weeks that he just went home early because he was pretty good and pretty quick at it and run out of stuff to do. So,
And what were we gonna be paying?
I know we paid, last year was $10 an hour.
You think that's sufficient for?
That's kind of when I talked to him, and said, you know, last year's pay was $10 an hour. I can't swear to you that's what it's going to be this year, but that's what it, and I'm pretty sure the summer help before got pretty close to that also.
That was for full and part-time.
Well, Casey made whatever Casey, I don't know what Casey made, but
You've been here for years, yeah.
right, but
So we'll bring full-time help on at what?
10,
And part-time at 10 as well?
yeah, or whatever you guys think is correct. But that's kind of what, when I talked to him, that's kind of what I said I thought it might be about, but I said that it was up to you guys ultimately where you thought it should be.
Yeah, make motions.
So we're going to make a motion to hire those two people. Christopher Lemon and Justin Frank, for seasonal help with maintenance department.
Do they live here in town?
Yes.
Okay.
Put the rate in also.
$10 an hour.
You make a motion?
Yeah, I made a motion.
I'll second it.
The motion has been made and seconded to hire Christopher Lemon and Dustin Frank at a rate of $10 per hour as seasonal help for the maintenance department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, police department.
We only had 41 incidents for last month. Only other thing I got is you guys talked about having a vending machine or pop machine put at the pool. I would suggest putting that outside of the pool, so that way when residents, like the pool's closed, residents still access it. Because when we had a pop machine over at the grocery store, there'd be people in the middle of the night to come over there and get pops, so the city would still get a little bit of revenue and it'd be constantly used.
That way, the map, you have to,
No,
know who's gonna be in and out.
Yeah.
That would be good. Can I ask you a question? We had talked about cameras up there.
Yeah, so I do need to update the cameras up there. The ones that are several years old. The quality of the footage is starting to go bad. So it would be about $400 at the most to replace the cameras out there. The camera systems now that we can get are 8 camera systems. So then we can put cameras on the outside of the pool too. So if we do
Good idea.
the snack machines or whatnot out there, we can put that up.
We need to catch those people running our stop signs.
Run your stop sign.
I just think we need to make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
If I did 700, that would be enough.
Oh, I'd do more than that. I've installed the cameras myself, so it wouldn't cost city anything extra.
instead of making a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to purchase cameras for the pool, not to exceed $700.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to purchase cameras for the pool area and cost not to exceed $700. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Anything else? I didn't mean to interrupt, but I knew we need to get that done.
All right, maintenance, water's been doing as good as it can be. So no problems there as far as leaks or anything. Did have right after the last meeting, problem out of the sewer, had one of the pumps go down, ended up getting plugged up and jamming it up. And spent a few hours out there digging that up. Those pumps aren't designed for the butt wipes everybody uses, and it causes issues for all cities. And we've got grates there that catch the majority of them, but there's still ones that get through, and when they get backed in, they get backed in. So, do think we need to look or start considering maybe the roof on this back shed? Had a couple different times when the windstorms have come up that it's ripped the tin up, and I've been up there in the evenings laying tin down and tarring over holes and stuff. And the slats and stuff are old and not holding the screws and the nails as good as it used to. We may need to look at some point in time getting some new tin put up there and do something to keep the roof on the building. Still working on hydrant flushing. For whatever reason, I haven't heard from him. The guy, Javon from KWRA, that was supposed to come in and do the valve exercising last week, didn't show. I need to get back, see if I can't get with him to figure out when we're going to reschedule that, because it's something we have to do with the state anyway. We've been working on the dump truck, trying to get it back up and running, waiting on parts. Found a brake line that had been broke in it, and it's old enough that the parts are obsolete. Found one warehouse out on the East Coast that carries obsolete parts, and they happen to have one of them on the shelf, so we're waiting to get that into us so we can get the brakes fixed on that. Me and Earl went over this month and talked with Rural District Number 4 about possible connections to their water system, and are starting to look at what our options are there to become dependent on their water. It was a minimum of $2.85 million for them to improve their system to be able to supply us where we got all of our water from them. We're looking at some options of what it would look like to get part of our water from them and blend it with ours, which would look like shutting down. It would shut down well 11, which is our high magnesium, high iron, but we still need blending because our well 10 is our phosphate well. And we're looking at options of what it would cost, because what their system should be, with what they can do, should be able to supply us with water to blend. Then it would be a matter of water line, and we would have to put in a blending building double back check valve, so we don't back feed into their system. I met with their head guy. Trying to remember the weeks. I think it was last Monday, and we went out and looked because we've got 2 lines that already come from them. It's a 3-inch and a 4-inch line that come from them. They were talking about maybe turning those on as a trial to see, with us pulling water from those, how it would affect their system with just supplementing it from there. So he was going back to their board to visit with them and see what they thought about, like turning those valves on for a week and seeing what the long effect of, does it take water from their customer 10 miles down the road, reduce their pressure so much that, that they can't supply it at the current setting. Right now we are set up with, if something happened and our wells with 100% down, both of them, we could turn those valves on and have emergency use water coming from them for a short period of time, where we would turn the water on at night, fill the tower up, and shut it off in the morning before their people started waking up and needing water. So I'm waiting to hear back from them when they want to do that test week. Was scheduled to do a sewer class and my water license testing. Well, snail mail got me, and it got there a day late, so I couldn't test. And the next available date is June 21st, and the next date after that is in August. So we'll have to look at whether, because the 21st is normally when we start reading meters, so I almost need to be here. But then the next class is clear in mid-August that you can take the test. So may rely on Danny to have to do all the meters at that point, and in June, and depending on how we feel about our summer help, may have him help read meters, so Danny doesn't have to go out and read all of them. But that's still in the works. And didn't go to the class because we're trying to get this pool thing up, and it became a more pressing issue, so I skipped the classes to try and get this pool thing figured out. And that is all I got.
You're looking at another truck.
We are watching on Purple Wave. Just got on there last week to see what kind of dump trucks were available out there, maybe upgrade a little bit. We've got one currently. It's only a year newer than the one we have, but it's only got 11,000 miles on it. It's down in Wichita, and it was used it's an airport truck. Wichita Airport Authority, and it's got a front hydraulic blade on it for snow removal. It comes with a sandbox on it and brine tanks on it. Current bid on it right now is $2,600. The auction ends June 4th.
Which is before our next council meeting.
Yes.
So we need to make some decisions now on what we're gonna do with that.
Right, and if it's something that we are interested, that you can get up, I was looking at it again today, and you can schedule an appointment to actually go put eyes and hands on it. So if it's something if we thought we wanted to pursue, I'd like to go down there before we just say we're gonna spend X amount of dollars and get it and go, well, this is junk.
Well,
I'd like to go look at it before, if we get to that point.
I thought about that truck after you showed it to me, and is there tailgate for it?
Tailgate is in the sandbox.
Okay, so we got a gate, and the sandbox is not permanently mounted.
No.
So we can pull it out and use it as a dump truck.
Mm-hmm.
We could also get a removable water tank spreader set up to water some of our dirt, or do some things like that if we so desired.
Yeah, you can put something like that in there.
Air brakes is gonna be a heavier truck than what we currently have.
It's same truck. It's still an F700, same truck. It just has air brakes instead of the hydraulic over electric brakes.
So do you feel it's something that we ought to be interested in?
I think if we go down and look at it, I think it would be, just because it comes with some of the equipment we've talked about that we'd like to have, and add an actual snow plow
Yes.
to the city. And it would give us the ability to put down some salt in intersections and such, so.
A fully articulating snowplow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's something to at least consider and look at. We may get down and look at it and go, but like I said, it's bid right now, it's $2,600. I would expect that it probably stays this side of 10,000 when it finally comes down to it. But looking at other dump trucks, when you get into the something that's newer, most of the trucks that are on there right now have 700 to 800,000 miles on them. And the biddings, you know, most of those are starting at $10,000 and going up. And they don't have the rest of the equipment.
So we should keep on top of this, is what you're telling me.
I think it'd be worth something, you know, whether, you know, me and maybe one of y'all come down, I schedule an appointment and we can go down and look at it, put a couple sets of eyes on it, you know, and see if it's something worth following through to the end or not.
We talked about new trucks somewhere 80,000, 60, 80,000 to get into a newer truck.
Is that a newer truck?
Yeah.
Well, something that hasn't been just used up, yeah.
Well, yeah. So a brand new truck is,
You a couple 100,000 in.
well worth putting some time and effort into this vehicle. Take a look at it. Okay.
What would we do with the old truck?
We could put it on Purple Wave.
Okay, I didn't know if it was sellable.
Yeah, I mean, we got the brake line coming, figure out, I haven't looked into the split shift on the rear end yet, because without brakes, it doesn't really matter if it's shift all the gears or not, so as soon as I get the brake line in, I'll look at that. It should be a usable truck for somebody, you know, so, and I know Danny's done a little research, and it's kind of a unicorn in that truck size thing, and there's some collector markets out there that are kind of hot on that kind of truck. We might, you know, if we put on Purple Wave, maybe we could hit one of those collector markets. Maybe not, you know, but.
Well, I do think we need to make time for him to deal with it on the test.
Yeah.
Because that's first and foremost.
What year
You know,
now?
instead of always having an issue.
The one we're looking at, it's an 87.
Spend that kind of money on a 40-year-old truck.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a Ford F700, just like the one we have. The only difference is it has a bigger motor and it's an automatic transmission. It has air brakes. And me and Danny both have CDLs with air brakes on it, so that's not an issue.
Yeah, that's one question I was going to ask you.
Okay.
But I think we can.
Thank you.
So,
I just think we need to make sure that they can get down there for that water testing stuff. I think that's important.
Yeah.
You know, he needs to be able to be free to do that. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't know.
All right, it came up about Shiloh earlier. What's everybody's opinion on Shiloh?
Sorry.
Do I?
I said, that was me, sorry.
Oh, I know.
Interrupting your.
If we were to do basically an auction up there to get Willie, I mean, we go through one section of the building at a time. Because I know Mark and Aaron had actually started cleaning a lot of the stuff up there and did not they kind of started organizing some of the stuff, and they had actually done quite a bit on it, but maybe we go through one section of it at a time and auction portions of that off. What do you guys think, Mark and Aaron? You guys know more about what all's in there than me.
Willie actually walked with me through the building after the city got it. And he said that the steel doors that's inside the building, the sinks, the toilets, the furniture, all that stuff that was left behind, that stuff is sell. The city ain't gonna make a buttload of money off of it, but they're gonna get a little bit out of there instead of just having them haul everything off to the dump.
Right.
Every little bit of,
There's two giant coolers in there.
yeah.
Those
Do they work? Do they work?
They did. He shut them down, I believe it was in 2006. And
they weren't very old when they put it in.
yeah, and he shut everything down, and when he shut them down, everything was functional.
you talking about the food coolers?
Yeah, the giant freezers, that's
Yeah,
inside there.
the guys are stripped off the cooling in the back.
There.
Well, but that
some of our money back on it. Mary, thanks, Tom. Let me go through one section at a time, try and get rid of it, and once we get everything out of there from an auction, then allow, because I know there's people that actually will buy a lot of your copper wire, this kind of stuff in there. And basically, the brick and everything, try and salvage and maybe recycle a lot of the crap in there, whatever money we can get back out of it.
I would suggest, depends on how much time the city wants to put into it, but we've got building material there, the sinks and toilets and all that, to build the bathroom at the city park. That's stuff, behind new material, stuff like that.
Got
We
the
get
brick, got the brick and everything.
Yeah, brick, the lumber, I mean, plumbing, everything's there. We might as well put it to use. And, I mean, cost of materials anymore, I mean, that's what kept us from building that new bathroom in the park.
Yeah, I'm sure your two leans off to the side is not much salvageable.
Yeah,
salvageable
it
there,
looks like
just the roof, but that whole back half, nothing's leaked. So the electrical, the 2x4s that are in it, you know, we can figure out a room and fill the bathroom easily with the stuff that's in it. So there's like toilets in there, so big one. You know, so you can tile it. I mean, it's there's enough of that.
Even the doors, the steel doors, I mean, build a bathroom, and they're big enough doors that can make it handicap accessible as well, so.
And there's still plumbing. It's just over at the park, everything's still there for it, it's just buried.
Buried there somewhere, yeah. I think they just capped it off, I know they just capped it off and buried it there.
That's not like a good idea, though, to get everything we can out of that.
Another thing I had, I mean, somebody had mentioned about as far as new council members and that being given a manual or something like that. If you guys would take the time, there's a lot of information already on the website of basically responsibilities of the council members, of the mayor, the chief of police, everybody. I came across something because I've gotten a lot of phone calls on some of the stuff, and it's talked about the proper operation of our government requires that public officials and employees be independent, impartial, and responsible to the people, that governmental decisions and policies be made in the proper channels, and the public have confidence in the integrity of its government in recognition of those goals. There is hereby established a code of ethics for all officials and employees, whether elected or appointed, paid or unpaid. The purpose of this code is to establish ethical standards by setting forth those acts or actions that are incompatible with the best interest of the city. Responsibilities of public office. Public officials and employees are agents of public purpose and hold office for the benefit of the public. They are bound to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and to carry out impartially the laws of the nation, state, city, and thus to foster respect for all government. They are bound to observe their official acts, the highest standards of morality, and discharge faithfully the duties of their office, regardless of personal considerations, recognizing that the long-term public interest must be their primary concern. Their conduct in both their official and private affairs should be above reproach. I mean, if anybody wants to take time to kind of read through that, I mean, some of this I haven't followed. I've gotten phone calls and stuff with complaints with, as far as the ethics with us here. I mean, it's something everybody kind of be aware of. I mean, I'm not trying to point you out or anything. I know there's a Facebook page or whatever you call it, Canton gossip, and all this kind of got started. But whenever we harass or approach people outside of the city council, we shouldn't be doing that. Number one.
I never.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going by what I was told, and then based on information that came from Casey's. All that, we just kind of, before we run our mouths in that, everybody needs to kind of think about what they're saying and what we're doing. Because it can be kind of construed, well, the whole council thinks like that, or just you, or just you. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Well, and I think the way council members treat other ones too, it needs to be respected.
right, and that's why I kind of read this. I'm not trying to single
Right.
anybody out. But, that somebody, I mean, if we've got, go through and take the time and read a lot of the stuff on there. I know a lot of the stuff on there needs to be updated.
Yeah.
That's where a work session should come in, and we can.
And the majority of that stuff came from, the municipalities. It's a direct copy.
That's-
what they have.
That's one thing to do a targeting is a member of the municipality. So a lot of this stuff right here, we're talking about, I mean, like that, we can tell you exactly whether we're in the right or we're in the wrong. That's all I have right now.
Now, we've been through a lot tonight, I'm not saying anymore.
It's been a good meeting.
It's all yours.
No,
Good.
You seconded that motion?
I'll second the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
I just want to remind Nick and whoever, and the new city clerk, that we have an election coming up on the 21st. We would like to have 3 booths set up and at least 3 tables. That's possible.
on the
I've
21st.
got it on my calendar, because I know about this one.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, people.
Thank you for coming.